Toastmaster. Yeah, you're the Toastmaster, right?
Yes.
Okay. I deal so much with Elaine here. Fellow club members and unseen guests. Undoubtedly, the happiest time of our lives for most of us is during our youth, and for me, it was no different in many respects. I would like to share with you some experiences that contributed to me choosing the career of mechanical design draftsman. I grew up in two places. From the age of 3 to the age of 13, I grew up in Oakville, Ontario, and we lived on the North Service Road. And so if you can imagine what it's like living on the North Service Road 35 years ago, there was a lot of noise and a lot of headlights. I remember sitting up, or lying down in our bedroom upstairs. There was a constant stream of headlights beams reflecting off the ceiling and the walls. And I'd like to also say that I am the oldest of 7 boys. So it was quite a large family. And my mother tells this funny story that when she announced to us that she was going to have baby number 7, I made the comment, "Not again." So, and I guess I was 12 years old when that happened. So I had a lot of kids in a short space of time. Anyway, in the early years, at Christmas, my parents got me Meccano, and I found enjoyment in building things. Often I would build cars out of Meccano, and I would attach elastic bands and run them across the floor. And then I went to bicycles. I began learning how bicycles worked, and I began fixing them, and I was so proud of myself that I was the self-proclaimed biketologist. And here's a story or a picture you can pass around of me in those earlier years. But then we were still living in Oakville there, and I got into motors. My dad had this old Lawn Boy lawnmower, and I'd fire it up, and I'd notice how this one little lever would move up and down, and as it moved up and down, the RPMs would rev up and down, and so I got a lot of satisfaction out of going up and down with the RPMs, and I don't know if the neighbors were impressed, but I was certainly impressed. Well, after having these many boys, my dad felt that he needed to get out of the city and into the country, and certainly by then our house was getting small. And so by the March of 1971, my dad closed a deal on a house in Grimsby. No, on some 6 acres of land in Grimsby, on Grimsby Mountain. And so he began to build that house and work his day job. And 2 weeks before I was supposed to go to White Oaks High School in Oakville, we moved into the country. And for me, it was such a pleasure to live up there, away from all the noise and the headlights. And I'm a person that likes fruit, and here I was living right in the middle of the fruit belt. And so for me, it was a great pleasure to be there. But as good as it was to have that fresh air and all the other enjoyments of living in the country, the best was living near this family that they owned a fruit farm, and they had 3 boys. I was 13, so these guys were probably 13, 15, and these guys were probably 15, 17, and 18. But what I thought was so neat was these guys raced dune buggies on the paths of the farm. And so the dune buggies were great, and we often pestered the guys to take us for rides, and sometimes they would, but mostly they wouldn't. But I guess we got to a point where we really upset them, and one day they said, "Guys, we want to take you for a ride. We know how much you like us to take you for a ride." So we were so surprised, and we jumped in, and they actually took us for a ride, but they went further than they usually went. And what they actually did was they drove to the very extreme end of their farm, and they told us to get out after we got there. And we couldn't understand why. He said, yeah, you guys bug us all the time, get out. So they forced us to walk back. So, but anyway, another time that I was significant in my life was one of these boys had they traded one of their dune buggies for a motorcycle. It was a Jawa 125, and so I have a picture of one that you can pass around. And that they never really ran that bike, but so they eventually offered it to me for sale. So my dad offered it to me for $35, and so my dad offered to pay half. So for $17.50, I was a proud owner of a motorcycle that probably needed a lot of work, but it was. And then, so my friend helped me get it to run, and but it didn't have a Kickstarter, and that's actually distracting. Let me get anyway, because it didn't have a Kickstarter, we finally got the thing ready to start, and he said, jump on, and he said, I'm going to push it in gear, and we'll see if this thing will start. And sure enough, he began to push me down the path, and he said, twist the throttle a few times, and I did, and this thing kind of came to life, and it surged me forward, and it just impressed me to no end. And so that, and so unfortunately that bike only lasted me 7 days, but it was such a pivotal time in my life. And so anyway, all of these experiences combined aimed my life at mechanical things, and eventually to Niagara College, where I took a 2-year course in mechanical design drafting. And so, and then, so just as these mechanical things have influenced me, to take mechanical design drafting as a career, I am hoping that this course at Toastmasters will influence me to become a better speaker.
Oh, I could hide beneath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring. What's its ring? And I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. With shaven razors